Morning.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 5:29. And stand for the pledge of allegiance. Let's see. Let's get our past mayor.
Whoa, look at you, making me work there today. I pledge the allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I almost forgot it, it's been forever. Ain't no Judy, don't do that.
Something like that.
Yeah, oh man, I know, my brain, you know how to do over here.
Counselor Lacewell. Counselor Bieber.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Proctor.
Here.
Counselor Miller.
Here. We've got a quorum. Then for a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Counselor Miller. Counselor Lacewell. Counselor Bieber.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Okay, number 5, approval of consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment
Cons-
number 2, refer to in and part of task order number 2301 between owner and engineer of professional services dated October 11th, 2023, owner being the city of Red Oaks Ranch.
Second.
Mayor, I think the motion is for approval of the consent agenda.
Yeah, it's not for that second one.
That item is.
That's on the consent agenda. A,
A is
you're
on the
right,
consent
it's
agenda.
on the consent agenda, so I need a second.
Isn't that what you just said?
I'll second,
You'll second it.
yes.
Counselor Proctor.
Aye.
Counselor Lacewell. Counselor Miller.
Aye.
Counselor Bieber. Motion carried.
Okay, number 6, public comment, comments to the governing body, 3-minute limit. Does anyone like to make some comment?
Since I've been here forever, hell, what the hell? That's just, I wanted to, first of all, congratulate my buds here for their being elected. I think it's awesome, so kind of cool. And personally, I also thank the 2 counselors who are departing. Tenure of the mayor being in the position he was in. It was difficult, it was tough. Sometimes it was mostly uphill, trying down, and trying to get the right amount of understanding of what's important for the citizens of this community. And you worked hard to do that. And I wanted to thank Judy, especially because Judy, I've been around Judy for 20+ years, and she's always put a heart and soul in our community, and not just by words, by actions. And we go back to when we were on the beautification committee back in the day before I was even in the office. And it was something that she strived to make it a point of what was important for our community to be united, to work together, not only to make the community look good, but the citizens working together as a unit to ensure that we are a community that cares about it. And Judy, you were always the top person to spread that kind of love and understanding. And I appreciate that. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And does Faye too, and even though she's absent, she wanted me to convey that to you also. To let you know about that. And again, I thank you for your service. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for what is going to happen here. It's going to be exciting, but I thank you again for dedicating it, sacrificing, whether it be family, whether it be friends, whether it be whatever you had to do what you did, and do it at the high level that it was done right. And when you get it on, when the first of the year comes, get out there, have some fun, man, kick it up, man, whatever. Make it happen.
Thank you, Mayor Williams, appreciate it. We spent 8 years together. And before that.
Not before that, we were so much younger back in those days. What happened to us? Look at this, man, look at this, wow.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to make comments? Nobody? Okay, number 7 is consular comments. Anybody? Yes,
And thank you all for, Counselor Miller. Have been a mentor for me. You always consider our citizens first, and you taught me that, and I appreciate all that you've done for me for the last 4 years, and guidance you've given and your example of leadership, everything you've done is what I hope to be someday. Thank you so much.
I look up to you too, Jody, but thank you very much. And I talked to a lady today that's pretty close to the age of my mother-in-law. She used to bowl with her. Her husband also was a mayor here, Jay Day. And in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I want to give you a little bit of history. Jake Harris was also a mayor here, and his wife Faye was with the ladies auxiliary here when I came to this town. Was it? Wait a minute. I think that was her name. I'm sorry. Anyway,
Well,
Flo, you're right. I was waiting for that. I was thinking of Gary's wife.
oh.
I met her the other day and we were both in therapy. But Flo Harris. And they did quite a bit for this town too. They got the sewer plant built, which we now share with Ruidoso. That was ours. But we have to do community stuff together. It just makes us better. And those were 2 of the ones I looked up to a little bit, Jay Day and Jake Harris. And then I've been here 30 years. I've actually been here 35 years because I did not run from 08 to 12. And I still was on the planning and zoning though. I still was here for the city. And Bob Miller, my father-in-law, became the mayor. And after he was the undersheriff for 8 years. But he did a lot for our town. And I wonder some of the improvements that happened. Of course, Jake Harris and Jay Day did lots too, but Bob Miller got us the new water tank. He went to Washington DC, Bemidji, got him down here. Now we have one of the best water systems there is in this area. I think it pumps, 120 to 150 gallons a minute. And we did a lot of improvements. We got the big hill up here, our water reservoir, our watershed. And that Bob got that for us. He got us the park that got flooded. And he got us a lot of things. And I'm proud to say he was my father-in-law. But I learned from every one of these mayors. Gary Williams, he taught us how to clean up and kept up with the museum, trying to get it back. He had a hard time because that was COVID some of the time too. And we had to close the museum, which broke my heart and a lot of our kids and a lot of our people. But every mayor, Tom Armstrong got us a transit, which I loved, and we kept it up. Mayor Williams kept it up. We just lost it this last year. And it wasn't our fault. We paid our bills and we got it working well for our people, and I'd like to see it come back. But all of these mayors were important for the parks. I can remember Joe Hayhurst. We got the first park going in here and the senior center after I got on the council in 92. I've seen so many improvements the last 30 years. I just want to make sure that this continues and make sure all the counselors in Ruidoso Downs are here for Ruidoso Downs. That's my wish and my prayer. There's other people that would like to take us over, but we've been here since 1947. And I've been on this earth since 1947. So my wish and everything for these counselors and the new counselors, I'm gonna put my trust in them to keep Ruidoso Downs, Ruidoso Downs. But I want to thank all the citizens from Ruidoso Downs for their trust in me for 30 years. I don't want to cry. But I served through all these 5 mayors, and I cherished every minute of this community. I'm proud of everybody. And I just want you to work together, because as a community, we have to work to Ruidoso on some of these things. We have to work with them on the sewer. We need their help and they need ours. We have to work together with the communication dispatch also. And there's always a way to work together. Listen, if they're against something you say or do, listen, maybe you'll learn why they're voting that way. Communicate with each other. That keeps us from having to need lawyers all the time. If you communicate, and I just wish, and I hope these new councilors and this new mayor also listen to the citizens. We should have some citizen input, maybe by some meetings every 2 months or something, and just tell them to come and tell us your wishes. This is their town. They pay taxes to live here. And we try to do our best to serve them. And we are servants. We are servants of this community. And we gotta make it better for everybody. So I'm proud of all the accomplishments. And I'll probably come back in some committee or something. But I pray we continue to be together and promise you'll keep this town to stand alone if you have to. And that's about all I've got to say.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Yeah, Councilman.
Yes.
And on behalf of the city, we'd like to present you with this plaque, 1992 to 2025 for Councilor Miller. She's been on the beautification. She's been on the planning and zoning, and of course, the council. We'd also like to present Councilor Baber with one as well. He's been.
Get your job done.
We've been on the Green Tree Solid Waste Authority, we've been on the council, and we just appreciate your all service to the city.
Thank you. Megan Slims.
Afraid to cry.
Never.
No, I said I would.
Well, I'm still crying. I don't like my face when I cry. Okay, number 8 is mayor's comments, and he's not here tonight. So we have a public hearing, number 9. A, ordinance 2025-09, amending the CORD, City of Ruidoso Downs Code of Ordinance, Title 3, Administration, Chapter 30, Mayor, Section 30.30, compensation. I'd like to hear a motion. No, we don't have to have a motion. This is a public hearing. Can anyone from the public let us know their feelings on this? It's compensation for the mayor. More than it used
They
to,
want to raise the wages on the councilors and the mayor.
but this is just the mayor. Gary, would you like to speak?
Yeah, but I'd like to have the information passed on, exactly what does this entail, when it talks about the mayor and, his, the increase in the compensation for.
Gary, you wanna?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Oh, Gary Williams, says. That's what I think, so.
Selena will explain it then.
The proposed amendments shall be $1,800 per month, effective with the term of office beginning January 2026. This sum may be increased to reflect a cost of living adjustment applied as a fixed dollar amount and not a percentage, subject to the governing body approval and state law requirements.
Okay, how long has the present compensation for the mayor been in place?
Since 2020.
25 years, Mayor,
For the mayor or the council?
Both.
both. Same time.
The last passage was 2001, October 23rd.
Okay, curiosity, in,
Point of order.
no,
Somebody's talking.
Gary's talking, just a minute.
In public hearing for someone to speak, they have to be sworn in. Do I have that wrong?
Not sworn in. He said his name. He said his name.
The old council used to do that, but he thought he was Perry Mason.
yes, that is, it has been $1,000 a month for 24 years. Why not? I mean, I don't understand, especially the boost of $800, and then you're talking about a cost of living possibly being added on down the road, whatever. Yeah. This is not a job. This is not a job. This is a public service. That's what you're elected to be, as public servants, not as a salary for a job. And the compensation is just in place to allow you an opportunity to be part of the community, and the city showing their support for that, and by giving you a little bit of a stipend. A lot of communities don't. A lot of communities have their elected officials not paid in, yet they still serve their citizens at the quality and high level that they do. And I know some councilors in those cities. That's the reason I'm bringing this up. I disagree with the increased volume. I think $800 is extreme. If you wanted to have an increase, that's fine, but it shouldn't be to that level, and then adding on a possible cost of living and all this stuff. Again, I'm telling you, this is not a job. You are public servants elected by the citizens of our community to represent them. And representing them means that if you have to be paid to represent them, then you're in the wrong profession. And profession being a public servant. I'm not for this increase. I don't believe that it's something that has to be so dramatically increased to that level. If you want to talk about something, give an extra, bump it up of $200 maybe a month. I don't care. But $800 a month for the mayor to do his job is extreme. And I don't know what the councilors are, what their numbers are going to be. I'll ask that question next. But I'm disappointed in the fact that this is happening, and I don't agree with it. And I would offer my advice to council to consider not approving this when it comes before council. Because this is not what we're about. We're a small community, a poor community that is looking for opportunities to help our citizens. And this is, you know, when you get the public servants and they get this kind of money for showing up to meetings and all, and doesn't, in the case of the mayor, it's a fixed amount. It's not a good picture. It's not a good show. And I would again ask council members, and of course, this would be the newer council members that will want to be approving it. They're in the audience, a little more.
Gary, no, so it'll be approved tonight.
No, it's a public hearing. You don't approve something unless it's brought to council as a item of approval. Public hearing is for us to say what we want to say, and then you take that in place, and then you talk about bringing it to the next meeting in a approval form.
This is a permissible. Bring for our governing body.
Well, I disagree with that, and it should have been stated as, to me, public hearing is us. You should have had later on, I don't know how you had that identified as the next, following the public hearing, the items brought forth for approval.
Yes,
Our
please.
notice of intent to adopt the following was posted December 8th. So that language was presented to the public as of December 8th. It says, notice is hereby given that the city of Dorso Downs governing body and intends, sorry, I don't know it by heart, intends to adopt the following, and it gives you both ordinances.
Was this a public hearing held previously?
No,
This
So
is,
how do you have a public hearing? How do you have a public hearing and with an intent before you have a public hearing to hear what we have to say about what this subject is about?
Mrs. Winter, would you like to clarify on the procedure?
Let's call on Ms. Winter.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair. Ordinances require a publication, at least 15 days or 14 days prior to the public hearing. As far as I know, publication was handled accordingly, or it was published notice 15 days ago. That these two ordinances would be heard and potentially approved this evening. In addition to the hearing this evening, I know if anyone can, you know, state their comments on the two ordinances. They will have to be published again if approved. So under New Mexico law, 2 publications, 1 hearing, and this was noticed as an adoption.
All right, the reason I mention it because the fact that in my tenure, we had public hearings on our ordinance change. And the public was heard. And then once the comments are brought forth and distributed throughout the system, the next meeting was the time for us to vote to approve the adoption of ordinance black. Now, you're telling me that the intent, and obviously I wasn't here for the last one, and I'm a little bit vague about what that is. But in my mind, if you're gonna have a public hearing and you're gonna hear something about what we're saying, to me, I don't care what the damn intent was, it should have been identified on the agenda following public hearing that these ordinances would be brought forth for.
with the possibility of approval, yeah. it does.
That's my take on this. And this is my experience of being where I've been and what was brought forth during my team here. And this is a little bit off the cuff.
I remember the same thing always.
Nan, can you address that? Please?
Yes, Madam Chair, Councilors, some jurisdictions do hear ordinances twice, and some don't. The only requirement is that under New Mexico law is that they be published twice, once 15 days before they're heard, and again, immediately after they're adopted. So as long as that publication is early notice and then the post adoption notice, ordinance is published. So, and the intent of this hearing is to send public comment and then allow the council to deliberate on what they heard. So you will deliberate on what you heard this evening. You can certainly take the gentleman's comments under consideration. But then you don't have to adopt them as written. You could, if you are persuaded by public hearing comment that, you know, the number is too high or too low, you can certainly change that. But this hearing is where you will hear and then deliberate. So there is absolutely no New Mexico requirement that ordinances be heard twice.
Even though we've been doing it the other way, Ms. Winter?
I inquired about that, Madam Chair, Counselor. Your ordinances do not suggest a process for hearing ordinances. And the response I got from staff was, well, that's just the way we always did it. But it's not embodied in your law. And the embodiment in state law is 2 publications, 1 hearing. So we proceeded in this direction with 2 publications, 1 hearing.
City clerk.
Previous Mayor Williams.
Oh, oh,
So during your tenure, and I reviewed the minutes, so Carol did a first reading. So there was no action on it, but it was publicized as a first reading. And some, as Ms. Winter just stated it, some jurisdictions just propose that. So to get a feel if the public is in for or against. Some jurisdictions do a first and second reading. So that's the processes that you're referring to. and I've read the minutes, and then Carol would put it on the first item under new business to have, action taken on. So, which is not wrong, like Ms. Winter just stated, that it is a different way to skin a cat, if you will. This was publicized for the notice of intent to adopt, so that's the difference.
Now, just one more for you. You still stated that if it's adopted, then there'll be another hearing and comments from the public. Is that what was stated there? Was something about a post?
Yeah.
Post, okay. let me
It's a
get that.
notice of adoption will be publicized following this meeting. Like allowing the public to know that it was adopted, and after that 5-day publication is met, then the ordinance is in effect. So that's the second.
If it passes.
Yes,
Yes.
in fact. I disagree. With council, that's fine. You had your statements there, that's fine. You following the state law, maybe, okay, that's fine. But again, to me, in my mind, when I was doing the mayorship, when we presented an item for adoption, it was posted on the agenda as an item of business. Business is to approve the adoption of whatever, or approve a road project, or approve salary increases, whatever it was on the agenda as a business item now. You're talking about all this other stuff before that, but I'm going on the pretense of, as a mayor at that time, whatever business we were conducting was conducted according to what the agenda stated. Because the citizens would come in and say, this is on the agenda for approval. And they would be aware of it and understand it and go from there. When you're looking at this as a public hearing, to me, and I don't know if anybody else is looking at this the way I do, is it's something that we have an opportunity to voice our concerns or disagree with what your proposals are. And that's taken in consideration at a later date is brought forth for a business item to approve an ordinance 2025-09. That's my concept of how we approach doing business for the city. This was the appearance of openness. Citizens knew exactly what to expect when they come to a meeting and knew what the results of that meeting would be. And from now, for me, the results of this is, to me, a gray area. And I don't think the citizens will understand it if they're looking at this as a business item, because it's not a business item. And you can have all that comments you said before, content, the intent, whatever it may be. But to me, as a politician, former, actually, a community leader, I use that term, is as a business item, like the approval of a consent agenda. That's a business item for council to vote on, to approve, to have those meetings, notations, all the information that was passed on from the last meeting, to give it to the citizens to see and to understand. That's a business item. This was not a business item. And you can say everything you want to say, and I appreciate that. And you're in a position where you should know it, and I know you do know it. But tonight, I don't think this should be brought for approval. And the reason I bring that up is the individuals who will be affected by it are the ones who are coming in. And for the council or the governing body to decide what they're going to have before they come in to do their tenure is a little off key. Sorry,
Can I say something?
This is a public hearing, but I'll listen.
no, I'm looking for this.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead with what you just said.
he asked first.
No, I'm just saying, I'll say what I said, but I'm looking for you to throw more at me so I can understand more of what's happening.
Okay, I've looked in the ordinances. And there's nothing in there, in our city ordinances, that tells us that's the way we should do it. There's nothing in there that,
Point of order, Mayor.
No. Get on this. Let him move his phone. No, let him.
No, it's the
This is
public.
still the public hearing, Jody. But
All right. What, who can be talking right now?
Yes.
Opportunity.
well,
No, the public has asked advice and information from the council members. That's what I'm doing here now. I don't need to be interrupted anymore about what I'm discussing or what I'm trying to find. Excuse me?
Thank you, ma'am.
he wants information from the counselors on this
Correct.
and the clerk
Thank you.
and the attorney.
Okay. I've looked into this and it's been brought up before. How you do, how you wouldn't do it, okay, when Mrs. Gordon was here. All she had was the state statutes to tell her what she needed to do. Okay, the people that were taught by her kept doing that. Okay, the way you just described it. Since we have nothing to govern us in our own city ordinances on how we should do this step by step, then we have to follow the state statutes. And now that's what the state statute says we can do. So rather than take up the time and the process of going through this here and then again here and then voting on it, cuts it down to where we can do it like we're doing now. Now, I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, it makes sense.
When you was mayor, you did it that way, and that's when Carol Burton was here.
Right.
Since then, a lot of changes, late changes that happened within our organization of City Hall.
But has the ordinance,
There is no
Changed.
ordinance. There is
okay,
no
now,
ordinance.
that's the problem. That's the problem.
We have to make one.
That's right. Now, because of that, because there's no ordinance in place, and now you say, well, we have to do it by state statutes, whatever. Well, if that was true, then we would have followed that process ourselves during that, which we didn't. Until there's an ordinance in place, that has to continue. Because and I'm talking about what's happened with this governing body, and it's not reflected of the council members, but reflected by the executive office of not abiding by state statutes. That has happened in the past, and that happened, an example is back with the city clerk. When it originally was, the mayor was originally like, how they did not follow the process because of the advice of council, not to follow state statutes. Now, all of a sudden, and I understand that's law, but we didn't follow the law then, and all of a sudden, we're gonna change that up and say, well, maybe we should follow the law by state references.
The first and second reading are,
The ordinance that's under the state statutes, we can make an ordinance that's even with the state statutes,
Exactly.
or we can make it strict, okay? The ordinance that you would like to see is the way that you guys used to do it. Since we have no way of saying, is this the right way, the wrong way, we turn to the state statutes. That is the bare minimum. We can add to it all we want to, but we cannot go below it.
I understand.
And that's what we're doing now. And it makes it more simple for us, because we're not having something here, letting it rest for 2 weeks, bringing it back over here, and then voting on it
But see,
3 meetings later.
that's the whole understanding of what transparency is to have opinions brought forth and giving input. All right, now that's brought to council and they have a thinking process about that, what was commented by the public. The second one would be identified with citizens that may not have been here to have that first voice, and gives them an opportunity to have that voice the second time. That's the reason for 2 public hearings. And I know about state statutes on it, I do. But I believe that I wasn't here for the first public hearing, that, and then you have the intent that went along with it. I'm here for this public hearing, and I'm telling you, I think it needs to be, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. It needs to be a business item to approve an ordinance. This is a business item. This is something that affects, this is city law. An ordinance is city law. It should be voted on as a business item because it affects all the citizens for years to go, or whatever, years to expand out to 2030, 2035, whatever the next time you bring this ordinance up. That's my disagreement. You have your opinion, that's fine. But I disagree with the fact that you want to process this tonight. Instead of, if you want to have another special meeting, I don't care. But you need to have it on the agenda as a business item, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. And I think as a city, when we have this over with and all the confusion and disarray around this, yeah, the next thing is, do you want to come up with an ordinance to take care of this? Because right now, there's too much. You're saying, well, what I did was not conforming with state law. Because I was doing it a different way, according to what Carol was doing, according to what she had been doing for 20 years.
But what she was doing on that form where it was taking and adding to the state statutes. We haven't done that here. What we have done is simplified the process.
So how can that not continue, sir? If it had been done in the process before, and now all of a sudden you want to change it, even though there's no ordinance that has interrupted that.
And then you'll have to take that up with the
Mayor,
representatives and the congressman up in.
Well, anyway, I'm not gonna go any more time. These people here don't need to listen to me
Mayor
anymore.
Williams,
All right.
I wasn't used to that either. I don't know exactly when we started having voting on at a public hearing.
This is Mayor Coleman.
Or Mayor Holman wanted it voted on at a public hearing.
That's,
That's when it started. I wasn't used to that either.
no, that's
Always
just
thought,
not,
oh, it's only a
that's
public
just
hearing.
not like, Mayor Pro Tem to have this process the way it is now. That's not.
I just want to tell you one thing.
Okay,
Guy, I'm right along beside you. I'm confused too, because it should say if we're gonna discuss it and then possible action.
it should say.
And it doesn't say none of that. I hear you.
All right, I mean, again, you have public hearing, you close the public hearing, and the next thing on the agenda would be brought forth for approval of ordinance 2025-09, whatever it is. That would be the process we follow. Now, whatever it is that you want to do, that's fine. That's up to you. But I'm just saying, as a citizen, a concerned citizen about what's going on here, especially with the numbers, I want it done right.
You're right, it should state,
Right, that's just me.
it should state.
My apologies for taking the time and
It's just.
overextending myself. Anyway, I want to try to get a point.
This has been throughout the executive. As he was the executive during that tenure, the current executive, that's how, actually for the last 3-4 years, this has been presented.
I'm just saying, if people read this, we're changing the ordinance. That's what it says.
Yes,
It doesn't actually say
But they were notified 2 weeks.
they were
ago that
notified.
meeting,
Yeah,
2
that's
weeks
right.
ago, what's happening and what's going on.
No, we've all talked and Jody hasn't.
Okay.
Jody, it's your turn.
Thank you. I would just like to read what was posted on the agenda. It says notice is hereby given of the title and general subject matter contained the ordinances of the city council of the city of Rio Downs, New Mexico, intends to adopt at a meeting on December 26th, 2025 at 5:30. The meeting will be held at City Hall in the Hubbard Room. So I learned as a new counselor is when you're having a public hearing, you can either vote at the end of the public hearing. The city council can either vote on it or they can choose to put it off for 2 weeks. But it has been stated that our intention tonight is to adopt this. And I think the final call needs to come from our attorney, Nan Winter.
Right. Mrs. Winter.
Madam Chair, Counselors, Counselor Leopold is correct. It was noticed as an adopted item. I'm looking at the case statute now, and it says 3-17-3. And it just says that, notice by public consent, by the subject matter of the ordinance, for adoption by the governing body, not take place 2 weeks prior to consideration or final action upon the ordinance in open session of the governing body. So it was properly noticed, it was ahead of time, it was properly noticed on the agenda. And then if adopted, it'll have to be published again for 17 days. So, again, your real profound ordinances do not specify a process. So this is exactly applied. You have to conform with the statute notice for the notice of this adoption. It's during this evening, and then again, if it's adopted, you will have to publish again. So I'm comfortable that it is properly noted.
Well, thank you very much. If we adopt this ordinance, the new language that's in this ordinance will be in the adoption of, not what she said. So if we adopt this ordinance, it's adopting the raises. And it, you are,
Madam Chair, if you adopt this ordinance, you can either adopt what has been presented on the agenda,
or change.
or you can change it. Either way, you'll have to notice it again. So adopt it and notice it again. You are not necessarily to the language that's in the draft agenda.
All right, we can change anything that you see that you might want to change. And do we do 1A first and then B? Okay,
So Madam Chair, so you're closing it to the public and now, opening up to the counselors now?
Well, still there's confusion to me. Where's this public notice that was, so if it was public notice that says, okay, we're gonna adopt it tonight, then why wasn't it put on the agenda as a intent to adopt? On the agenda for, this is a business item. This is business. No, I'm just saying, this is business that you conduct, that the citizens of the community are aware of. All right, but there's not something, you can have all this other paperwork, but this is business. This is the business paperwork that is brought forth for council to discuss and to vote on, and for the public to be aware of what will be voted on. So they can see it and digest it and say, okay, they're gonna be voting on an ordinance tonight. I want to voice my concerns about that ordinance. Then whatever your discussion may be and whatever you decide, then you vote on it as a business item. To adopt ordinance 2025-09 to increase the mayor's salary from 1,000 to 1,800 with all the little sub information that you have, cost of living and all that other crap that you're throwing out there. Right. This is not directed at you.
Yes.
This is just my thoughts on it as a rational person. Well, sometimes it falls off the edge, right? But tonight I'm trying to be in that rational mode.
And former Mayor Williams, we will definitely relay your message to the upcoming mayor and make note of it. I'll put it on the list. We appreciate your comments.
I thank you for the opportunity.
Mayor Williams, the whole ordinances were published. But I don't know how many people read them on the paper. It was.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
Okay. Here's what was published. Amending. Amending means you're changing something. That's what we're doing tonight. And it says the Code of Ordinance Title III, Administration Chapter 30, Mayor Selection, 30.03 compensation. Then it goes down into what Councilor Lacewell read earlier on. Notice hereby given to the title and general subject matter contained in the ordinances that the city council of the city of Rio Sedano, New Mexico intends to adopt at a meeting on December the 26th, 5:30 p.m. 2025. The meeting will be held at City Hall in the Hubbard Room, yada, yada, yada. Copies of the orders will be available for inspection or purchase in the office of the city clerk during regular office hours. Had you been at that last meeting, you might have understood it better.
I understand the concept,
But we
but
can sit
again,
here and argue opinions.
we can argue all we want to do, right? But like she said, not a lot of people may be aware of that information. But when you have a meeting and you have an agenda that says that's gonna happen, then they'll be more aware of it and possibly be able to attend and be part of this. Now, you do what you gotta do and that's fine. I voiced my opinion. It can go out somewhere into the stratosphere,
Appreciate your
whatever,
opinion,
okay?
we do.
I'm quitting discussing and talking now. It's not fair for me just to blow out stuff all over the place. But I just wanted to let you know from my end. That's it.
Last comment on this item for the public is if this fails or passes, it cannot come up again until a new election year. Okay, so that means there'll be no pay raises for anybody. If it does go through, the only people that will get it will be the new counselors coming to chair and the new mayor coming to chair. The two counselors that sit the chairs now have 2 more years, will not be privileged to these pay raises. If it fails tonight, then you go on for 2 more years, and then it jumps to 2 more years. So it's been almost 25 years since a pay raise has been given to the mayor and to the council members. We was asked to look at this, do something about it. It's been on the agenda. It's been looked at. It's up for vote now. And that being said, whether it goes or doesn't go will be up to the councilors here.
Are you closing it to the public and turning it to the counselors?
I'll close it. Oh, no, we have one more.
I'm with Gary, you know, I just think that's a big jump. I mean, we're poor people, and you gotta take care of the people first. We haven't been taken care of for the last 5 years, you know? So let's do what's fair, you know, because of course, you know, everybody needs a raise, but that's extreme. My opinion. My opinion.
No, you're
I'm
right.
done.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna argue with nobody.
I hear you, and it's gonna go to the council's deal too,
It's all.
but I mean. It's like that man said, you're here doing a public service.
Yeah.
You know, and now you wanna argue about how much money you get paid. Well, the way I look at it right now, a counselor gets paid $100 an hour.
Yeah.
$200 a meeting. And I'm sorry, if you can't live with that, then you need to find another job.
I have one more comment, since I was here when it raised in 98. I got $25 a meeting. And when it raised it to 200 a meeting, so. The other counselors were getting $200 and I was getting 25. You can't vote yourself in a raise.
Yeah.
So if it's gonna happen, it has to happen, but 2 people will not get it. And 2 people will, because nobody can be up here and look. If I would have, you know, been 2 more years like Terry and Jody, they don't get it. But that was an extreme raise from $25 a meeting to $200 a meeting. And that was the extreme. This one will be different, and you'll hear during our discussion why it's different. Okay, so let's go on with A. I'd like to hear a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, but I'd like to amend it. I'd like to
You got a
amend the
second?
motion. Beg your pardon?
He's not doing his motion.
I would like to amend the motion for compensation. Instead of going for $1,800, go for $1,250.
Point of order, we haven't had the counselors discussion yet. We can't make a motion until the counselors.
Sorry, we didn't know you was running this show.
No, we need the first and second to go, to be able to talk about it.
Is there a second to the motion on the floor?
Is there a second?
Yes, I'll make a second.
All right, now we can
Okay,
discuss.
now. If you amend this tonight. If I'm not mistaken, and if I'm wrong in this, Mr. Winter, please correct me before I get it all said. We amend anything in this tonight. Then it has to go back for publication. And come back, because it is an ordinance change. And we gotta go through all this again. It won't happen again. We can bring it back in January or February and vote on it, but it will not take place in the election year. So is that correct, City Attorney?
Counselor, no, the notice is essentially that there will be a change. It's not what exactly the thing will be, right? The notice was that there was a potential change. So your you change what happened this evening.
We can discuss it and change it without an amendment.
Thank you for that.
Okay,
You have made it, you got a second?
you know, now we can discuss it. What you think, what you were trying to amend.
I was just,
Right.
I was just amending it because everybody says we're going too high and everything. I mean, if they can live with that, I can live with that.
So to leave it like it is,
1250
well, 50, what
to
you're,
the amendment, yeah.
Jody, would you like to speak on this?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Mayor Williams and Mrs. Williams, that's kind of interesting, both have the same last name, Pam and Gary. I agree with the statement that Mayor Williams said, this is not a job, this is not a paycheck, this is a stipend. And I think Mayor Williams proposed was a 20% increase. That sounds good. What sounds like what Councilor Baker just said is a 25% increase. Make it 1,250. And I agree with Councilor Baker that $1,250 a month is an adequate stipend for a part-time leader.
Ready to roll call.
Well, we're not discussing, I mean, Terry.
Yeah, well, we're, you know, if you take a look at it, okay. From 01 to right now, look at what's happened across our city. When I went to work for the city, I made $9.11 an hour. Look at what a new hire is making now. It's almost double, not quite, but almost. For a labor, they started out, I think, right at 17 something an hour. I've got the sheet here, but I haven't dug it out. So if you look at what the counselors are, with this going up like this, hopefully for the extra that they put in, like for solid waste authority, we have a council member that sits on that. He could be over there for 2 or 3 hours. That just helps offset anything he might be missing if he's working. The other part of it is I'm retired. Okay, to me, it doesn't matter what they want to do with it. I don't have to worry about whether it's 1250, 2000, or 1800. It doesn't benefit me either way. But the people coming in, if you look at what they did for the judge, that doubled. The only one that's doubled here is the one for the counselors. So if we voted in and it goes to 1250, then so be it. And then it moves on to the next one. And if they want to change that, they can change that. All right.
Since I'm Mayor Pro Tem, I have to say in this too. And what I've seen 5 years ago, we didn't have anybody running. I just thought this might make it where people would get more interested. And this year, we got 2 younger people in here. I'm not saying you're old.
Yeah.
Don't come for the money.
But, you know, they have to work, they have to work to make a living, is what I'm saying. And they might have to take off work to come to these trainings and meetings and out of town meetings. They probably have to take off work. So this little bit of compensation might go a long ways for getting new people in, people more interested in this. 5 years ago, we didn't have nobody running. And 2 years before that, we had nobody running. And that's sad to me, because I like to see these younger people with children get in here and not to make money, no, but to make changes that they might need, the younger generation might need. And that's one reason I'm for this. One of the richest towns in New Mexico is Corrales, okay? Yeah, they get $25 a meeting, but guess what else they get? They get insurance free. So we don't get that. So this little bit of compensation, you've got to go, you've got to work hours. Sometimes we have packets that thick. We do. And that might take all night or 5 or 10 days to read it, because you don't have time, you're working. And I see a compensation brings more interest into our community. And like I said, we've been 25 years, the same compensation. So to me, there's things like I, as a city councilor, I did these committees for 18 years. Our city didn't give me any money. I went and got sponsors so I could feed the public. I went and got sponsors so I could have gifts. Because if we did get a grant, guess what? We can't buy food with that grant. You can't do this with it. You can't do that with it. So almost every year I would use my compensation. So I had food for the kids at the parties, like $300 at a time, which I don't mind, but growing families and older people that are still working, they can't do that. And if they want to be city councilors, they have a lot of work to do. I did this for 18 years and I know I've had a lot of work to do, but I compensated for what the city didn't. So I've saved the city a lot of money. And we have Jody Blacewell here.
Point of order, Mayor, if I can. I feel like you're talking about counselors and what's on the table right now is the mayor.
Oh, well, I'm talking about both of them. The compensation for both of them. I'm sure the mayor put up some money too. Anyway, go ahead, Jody.
No, I just wanted to get back onto the topic of the voting for
Okay.
the mayor compensation.
Sure.
All right, well, we heard you.
Okay, let's vote.
Let's vote for the mayor, 1,250 a month.
1250 on the mayor.
Counselor Lacewell,
Aye.
Counselor Baber,
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Miller,
Aye.
Counselor Proctor.
No.
Motion carried.
Okay, now we can go on to B, Jody. We'll go back on track. Ordinance, make a motion for the public hearing number B. Ordinance number 2025-10, amending Code of Ordinance Title 3, Administrative Chapter 31, City Council Section 3101, Establishment Members' Duties and Compensation. We didn't change the duties. Just the compensation. Hey,
Mayor, Kim, are you opening the public? hearing?
yes, no, this is not a. Yes, it is, I'm sorry. Public hearing. So Gary, you can get up. I'm sorry.
Okay, and
Again.
everything that was said before is already said, so I don't have to go that far. I mean, this is
Okay,
might be a
that's
5-minute
now
shot.
On the counselors, this is on the counselors.
Just say repeat.
Not the mayor.
Okay, on the
We wanna
computer.
hear you some more.
Gary Williams, citizen. May I have the information concerning this ordinance?
All right,
Please.
you wanna tell him the information, the changes of the ordinance for the city council?
So the compensation paid to the city councilors of the city shall be at a rate of $900 per month, which previously is, or currently, is $200. In all regular, special, emergency meetings or workshops. This sum shall be reduced $300 per month for each missed meeting or workshop. This sum may be increased to reflect a cost of living adjustment applied as a fixed dollar amount and not a percentage, subject to the governing body approval and state law requirements. So same concept, but just this is a $300 reduced if for each missed meeting. So the deal is a month, you get 900. You miss a meeting, you get deducted 300. So now you're down to 600. You miss both meetings in the month, now you're down to 300. That's the concept here.
You still making money.
Well, really,
Yeah, really.
not doing it.
If I may. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
For one thing, the numbers too high. It's unfortunate that two council members would be receiving the higher number and the other two councilors would be still at the same level,
Always that way.
unless they had 4.5 meetings during the month and they would make the $900. The number is too high. I understand it's for the month, just like the mayor's compensation. The number should be lower, and I don't think it should be penalized for it. If the number is lower than what it is right now, then that deduction should go away. Because as a public servant, again, and people might have jobs, that's fine. They knew that when they came into this and wanted to run for office. They knew that there would be sacrifices that they would have to make if they were elected for that position. You can't say, well, because they may not be able to make a meeting because of their job. Well, again, they had to understand that that's the reason they ran, is because they wanted to be a public servant on top of maybe their job. You can't use that as a crutch for compensation. Council members should be compensated, I agree. At the time when this was in place, $200 a meeting was too much. It should have been $400 a month, just like we want to do now, a set price, set salary. But it was $200 a month. At one time, we had, because of budget hearings, we had committee meetings concerning salary increases. We had 2 meetings for public that we're doing now. They were receiving that month $800 for those meetings that they attended, because of the separate number for each meeting that they would receive. I like the concept of a monthly salary or a stipend, excuse me. But you need to discuss about the number. If you do that, I have no problem with it, but I don't like the penalty portion of it. I really don't. I don't think a council member should be penalized because of something may have happened with a family member that they had to attend to, or they had an accident, or something may have occurred that they couldn't able to attend, or even be on the phone to attend. And because of that, they're penalized in the $300. Right. I would recommend and I would encourage members to reduce it and take that clause. Right, that's just where I'm coming from. But don't use the excuse of because they have a job that they need to be compensated higher. They knew what to expect if they were elected, if they had a job.
I understand. There's still a public hearing. Have we hear from the public? Anybody? Okay. Close the public hearing, please.
I'd like, go ahead. I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
and amend. The
I think we need to discuss before we start making motions.
We make a motion first, then second it, then we discuss it.
Would you please hold it down until we get something started, Lacewell? I'd like to make a motion to discuss and to drop the 900 to 5.25 and open for discussion.
I second the motion.
Okay. City clerk. Well, let's get the motion.
She doesn't speak. She
We got it made. It's done. She just needs to discuss.
Okay, yeah, it seconded, it was second. Go ahead, you can discuss them. I didn't hear the second, I'm sorry.
A normal year for our city council is 23 meetings. In 23 meetings, if we only have our regular 23 meetings a year and they're planning to pay people $900 a month, that means they're being paid $469.57 per meeting, and I think that's outrageous.
We just,
23 regular meetings, we have 3 special meetings, we had 2 workshops, and an emergency meeting, that's 29 meetings. So it cost the city and the taxpayers $5,800 for those 29 meetings per city councilor. If we upped it to $900 a month, those same meetings would be $10,800 per counselor. I think that's outrageous. My proposal is a 25% increase, so we use the 25% increase on the mayor's stipend. I feel a 25% increase for the counselor's was adequate, making it $250 per meeting. Now, using that number.
Jody, Jody, excuse me.
No,
Let me finish.
if we were to propose a 25% increase, making a meeting 250 per meeting, not an annual thing, but per meeting, then it would have cost us this year $7,250. Whereas if you go with that $900 thing, it's still gonna be $10,800. I think that's outrageous.
We've already amended it, Jody.
It's for discussion.
A 25% increase per meeting. And if we don't know what the annual thing, so your, whatever your motion was, which I didn't even understand what you were saying. We can still vote no on that motion and go to something more reasonable, like a 25% meeting, 25% increase per meeting. And stay with the per meeting concept. And as Governor, Mayor Williams stated earlier, this is not a job, it's a stipend. And, that cost of living rate, that is even me crazy in there about cost of living is also ridiculous because it is not a job. It's a stipend. You don't get a cost of living rate on it.
Let's hear from the other counselors.
Okay, in question to what, Mayor Williams is talking about, ever since I've been here, when I retired, I've been living in Ruidoso for about a year, the rest of the time in Ruidoso Downs, so I've been a citizen here for, I don't know, what, 35, 34 years, 33 years. And ever since I started coming to council meetings, if a counselor wasn't here and wasn't on the phone, they got docked their $200. This past year in May, I had a previous engagement I could not miss. I could not get away from. I didn't want to get away from it. So I excused myself from that meeting. I got docked $200. So this is probably why instead of doing a salary, they're still gonna break it down per meeting. So if the pay, if the increase is enough to get an individual to come here, not say, well, I don't feel like going tonight, then they lose that. If you make that loss big enough, then they won't make those, they won't miss those meetings. So, like I said, I'm retired. I don't need the $200. I don't need the $250. I don't need the $900. So, and I didn't run for the $200. I wanted to run because I was a bully, and what I was seeing, pissed me off, and I wanted changes. Myself, Councilor Lacewell, Councilor Baber, and 23 did not make any promises. We stated facts of what we wanted to see, what we wanted to do and get done. We did that on January's first meeting of 2024. And we was not able to get anything done until June for our attorney at that time. And just not too long ago for the city clerk that we wanted to replace. So we did get something done in our terms. And I'd like to thank Councilor Miller and Councilor Baber for supporting that and help getting it done. But better done late than not done at all. However this goes, that's fine.
Okay, I wanna have my say so. I agree with Mayor Williams that it's not right to do it per meeting. It should be a monthly stipend. Because we're gonna try our best to get to these meetings. And what's been the problem so far, we haven't been able to have special meetings and things because, oh, it's gonna cost too much. Okay, that's it's like 600 would be for all the meetings, no matter if we have 10 in a month. I don't like being paid per meeting, either, and I don't think it's fair. Because like he said, we have accidents, we have things that keep us from coming, but we still are gonna do our job. So if we could take that clause out, pay per meeting, just per month instead of per meeting. The mayor never gets docked, so why should the consuls? The mayor don't get docked, he'll get his 1,200 if the mayor pro tem has to stand in or anything, you know? So I think it should be per month compensation. And,
Isn't that what I said?
you know,
Your motion was for discussion and 5.25.
yeah.
There was,
Five and a
He didn't
quarter.
say.
it didn't address the
That- I
reduction
wanna
in
address that.
language.
Because I think it should be a monthly. Now. It's up to everybody. I don't, not just me, but if he's getting 1,200, we should get 600, half at least. So what do you think, everybody?
I've already made the motion.
You made the motion, well, we could admit,
I would like to make the amendment, make that $600 as a salary,
yes,
on compensation, be paid whether the council member makes the meeting or not makes the meeting.
I would second that.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to clarification. You, amend the amendment then?
Oh, Terry just did,
Right.
that's okay. That was amended by Terry and I seconded it.
And to be clear, your proposal is $600 salary. And does not include the reduction language.
No,
Start.
it'll be straight.
They're just kicking my bid up $75.
And then it'll be a salary, and that's what it'll be paid in 2 different payments per month, or for 3 paydays in there, however that works. That'll be up to our pay clerk. And what this will do is it'll stop the, if you have someone that's got an emergency, they don't have to worry about making the meeting. If they can't call in, they still get their $600.
600 a month for counselors too.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Jimmy.
Thank you. So Kevin Proctor, are you proposing that if someone has a legitimate reason to miss a meeting, like an emergency, they go ahead and there's no reduction? But if they just decide not to come, what is the way to deal with that?
They shouldn't get paid.
Right, but what they're suggesting here is that there's no docking of the salary if you decide not to come.
Well,
It's a salary, excuse me, a salary is paid whether you're there or not. If you're not gonna make it a salary, then it needs to be $300 a meeting. That way, it'll stay like it is now. You just adding, you're not going salary, you're going $300 a meeting.
I might not have got it straight, but we can have, they can have as many meetings as the mayor wants,
Under a
the
salary.
council wants, under a salary. We would not get paid per meeting.
Salary, and salary needs to sound like a job, it's still a stipend. So it's either a monthly.
Well, the compensation is same as the salary, and that's what it says in the ordinance. And what we would go for is if we need 10 meetings that month, you still get $600. You don't get 200 a meeting.
But what are you gonna do with somebody that don't wanna show up to the meetings?
Well, if they don't show up to the meetings, they'll probably be disciplined in some way, because that's our job. It's a job.
You gotta put that in here.
You get done.
You don't show for a meeting, you don't get paid.
It has to go in there. She definitely thinks it has to go in there. We get this money if we attend all the meetings. But what I wanna get set up is we don't get paid per meeting.
No, that's
We're
what
still
this
gonna get
600.
paid. You're still gonna get paid per payday. Whether you make $900 a month, or whether you make $100 a month.
It's
you're gonna
called
get-
payday then.
Johnny?
I'm
And
just saying, if you go a salary or the compensation as a yearly income, then it's broken down by the paydays, which we have 26 of them in a year. then you're gonna get $300 a payday. That being said, that is a compensation that's based on, it's just like, that's just like the police chief, if he gets so much, or the city clerk gets so much paid, it's broken down. Based on 40 hours a week, 2,080 hours a year, that's how it's broke down to get paid on a payday. If we do this, and it looks at, and you can call it salary, compensation, a paycheck, whatever, some people call it a job, some people don't. This, if you go at a yearly salary, then it would be $600 a month. If a person didn't make it, they didn't make it. There's nothing you do about it. The mayor gets, if the mayor gets whatever he gets, if he doesn't show up, he gets paid anyway. So if you're trying to make the council members under the same rule as the mayor, they still get that money. If you get paid by each meeting, then you're gonna get $300 per meeting. And if you miss a meeting, it will go back just like it is now, at 200. You miss, you don't get paid for it. And that's the way it was when Mayor Williams was in, that's the way it was when, back in 2021.
I just wanted to be able to have more meetings
Right.
for that amount of money.
You can have as many as you want to for 600, but that's all you're gonna get, is 600.
Right,
That's exactly what I want. Yes,
I rest.
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, kind of what Barbara said. So when the mayor cannot attend a meeting, there's a mayor pro tem for his stand-in. If a counselor cannot attend a meeting, or just doesn't feel like coming to the meeting, there's no pro tem counselor to fill in for somebody that doesn't just show up. And I don't know. Councilor Bieber, have you got a good idea on what to do in a situation like they just don't show up?
I do. If they can't get on the Zoom and they can't call in, then they don't get paid.
How would we word it, counselor?
You lose a payday.
Yeah, if you can't make the meeting by phone, by Zoom, or in person, then we can't pay you, sorry.
I agree with that, Counselor David, thank you.
No worries.
City clerk,
With that amendment, Donna, we have our human resource specialist here with us tonight. Donna, would that be logical in what Counselor Baber had said? So it'd be $300 the first pay period, $300 the second pay period. If they missed any meeting on the second half of the month, then they wouldn't get anything. Is that what you mean?
Well, if you're gonna pay them by the month, that's how it's gonna be. Because if you pay them by the meeting, then you don't know how many you're gonna have. That's gonna be $300 a meeting unless you have more. So Donna, put it on us,
I feel like they should be paid by the meeting.
by the meeting,
pay by the meetings. Okay,
I mean,
But
that's my
we
opinion.
couldn't have extra meetings. And without paying it, everybody again. I was trying to make it so we could have extra meetings without.
You should ask in the budget for more money. I mean,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem, that being said, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think we'll be calling as many special meetings as we've had since I've been in office. Because we're gonna have a mayor that's already stated he's gonna work with the councilors.
yeah, hopefully the fight is
Right.
over with.
All the moaning and the peeing in the back door and all that stuff stops. We've all agreed to do what we need to do for this community and have a mayor that's gonna be here. So we shouldn't have any special
So
meetings.
it's gonna
It's
stay.
very rare.
2 meetings and then we should be, another one's a freebie.
But that makes it.
You gotta have some kind of wording where if they don't show for a meeting. So that, so if you still go with the 600, that's 300 a meeting. So you don't show up for that second meeting, you just lost $300.
So, and, excuse me, Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
that's the way it is right now. We would have to change it. All we're doing is changing the money amount.
Yeah.
That's still in there. And if you don't make a meeting, it's out. Unless you go for 600 as a salary, $7,200 a year. And then it'll be broke down, $300 per meeting. And you still just keep going.
I'm good.
I'm ready.
602 meetings.
They'll still be paid by meeting.
Yeah,
That includes workshops, special meetings, emergency meetings,
All these other meetings,
so if,
So you're saying that if we have more than two, they're gonna get another 300?
that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Is that the way you want it?
Yep. I can live with that.
Go ahead.
My proposal, if we're gonna go per meeting, is that we up it by 25%, which is what we did with the main stipend, 25%. So if we up the per meeting amount to 250 per meeting, that's 25%. And, if we're gonna do it with unlimited meetings, then the 600 a month sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Instead of docking someone $300 for missing a meeting, perhaps dock it $100 if they have to miss a meeting.
But then that messes up the pay period.
Your choice is 250 a meeting or 600 a month. And as many meetings as you need.
250 a meeting, I'm good with. And
Nice, Jerry.
if you happen to have three, then you get
So are you, Pro Tem,
And
Council Lacewell, are you recommending that we amend the $600 to, the $300 per meeting and go to $250 per meeting? And then if you don't make the meeting, you lose that $250?
Council Proctor, I don't think it's written that you lose anything. You either show up and get paid, or you don't show up and you don't get paid.
Okay, however you want to word it.
Yeah, the 600 a month per meeting. Then if someone doesn't show up, maybe drop them only 200. But if we're going to pay per meeting, my preference would be 250 per meeting for unlimited meetings, or 250 per meeting.
per meeting.
If you can't come per meeting,
You lose 250.
you're just not getting compensated for something that you didn't do.
Exactly.
Careful. So, Lacewell, it's gonna be cheaper to pay $7,200 a year, broke down to $300 per meeting. Person doesn't make it. He doesn't make it, and that's it. If you pay $250 per meeting, being 500, and you have workshop once a month, twice a month, that's jumping that up. You're going back to more than $900 a month for any of the meetings. So I would recommend it. I still have the floor, Counselor. That being said, I would recommend that it be either $500 per month, and that would bring you to $6,000 a year, or the $600 now. And I'll leave it there.
Okay.
go ahead.
Jody, can you hear me? Okay, with the 300, that don't throw in any extra meetings. The 250, we can go with the extra meetings, but everybody don't think we're gonna have the extra meetings. So it would be cheaper just to go 250 a meeting. And then if you did happen to have one, a special one, that's just another 250. Instead of paying that extra 50 every month when you're not gonna have the extra meetings.
Okay.
How does that sound?
I'm real happy with 250 per meeting. I'm also real happy with 600 per month. As long as there's some kind of wording about if you miss a meeting, it's gonna, that will be reduced by the fact that you weren't in attendance for a meeting. And so, yeah, Councilmember, I like the way you said it. But my stance is 250 a meeting or 600 a month.
Okay, well, if we go to the 250, we've got to go by the meetings. The other way, if you get an extra meeting there, you're not gonna get no more money.
Correct.
Right. So the 250, and if you don't show up for your meeting, that's 250 you lost.
so,
Right.
so it would just be how it is now, just adding $50 more dollars, is that
Right.
right?
250.
The language would be the same as it stands, just with the $50 increase per meeting, for all regular, special, emergency or workshops. So it's the same way, the same concept as it is now, except just adding $50.
But if they don't
So-
show up by telephone, Zoom, or in
That's
person,
how it is now. Yeah, that's how it is.
they lose
now.
it.
So the language would be the same. It's just the $50 increase. And what about the rest of the language? Is that?
That's all you need.
I'm still
Changing the money.
I'm still looking at the benefit for the city. Because we are to help our city, that's first. And that 600 a month and have as many meetings as they wanna call would benefit the city.
But that's what I'm saying. They're not good. Y'all's not gonna have that many meetings. You're gonna have your regular two.
No, we have meetings for budget, we have meetings for everything.
You got at least 3 meetings for
Yeah.
budget.
Okay, but them budget meetings, I'm just here to freaking tell y'all that they're worth $250. I'm just telling you. So it would work better with the $250 a meeting.
Whatever you guys think, but I still think it's have as many meetings as needed. And 600 a month.
Well, this increase will increase the month if they attended both meetings. For regulars to $100 more to be 500 instead of 400.
Right.
I mean, that's a jump still.
Yeah, well,
For $50 more though, you can have more meetings and not pay $250 for them.
Okay, so
But it,
we've got the motion to
So you
go
need-
for
so you need to
$250
amend
a
your motion.
meeting. You don't show up, you don't get paid. Is that the way everybody's at? Okay, that's where we're at.
okay, so you're
They're not
saying,
voted.
so what Council Lace was saying, she's amending the $600 that was recommended and already brought in. So amending that back to $250 per
For
meeting.
me. Okay, let's vote.
right,
And you second his minutes?
Yes, I did. Second amendment.
sounds like it's gonna go for $250 a meeting.
Okay, Counselor Miller,
Aye.
Counselor Lacewell. Counselor Baber.
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor Proctor.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, and,
Good
Ms.
night.
Winter, do you need to tell us anything on this vote?
We're going to include this language that this may be improved through market cost of living adjustments.
We took that out. We took that out. Yes.
on the reader.
Yes, ma'am. No,
Yeah.
yeah, she just went through back to it with it.
That's on both of them, Mary Lynn.
And I wanna thank this city for putting up with me all these years, and I like my little trophy, I'll call it my trophy. I guess we're ready to admit,
Agenda.
agendas. Agendas meeting.
Attend this meeting.
Adjourn,
Like to see.
or whatever.